We talk about problems. We talk about poverty. We understand that if a child doesn't read on third grade level, by the time he's in third grade, he's 3 times more likely to be incarcerated by his 18th birthday than somebody who can read. We talk about people aging out of foster care. We know that if you age out of foster care and are not adopted, you are 6 times more likely to be homeless by your 21st birthday than you are to be housed. We have all these problems. We talk about crime. We know our city is 400 or 500 officers short. Yet we argue amongst ourselves about the help that comes in that is helpful, but they're going to leave and we're still going to have a crime problem. But is that really the police's problem? We talk about these problems all the time with our friends and at the kitchen table, and certainly they're real, but I don't really think they're problems. I think they're symptoms of a greater problem. Now, for me to stand up here and say what I'm going to say, it may hurt some people's feelings. It is an inconvenient truth as I see it as a man who's coached football in this city for 25 years and runs a business with 130 employees. But it is what I see. And I have to say it or I'm wasting your time and mine here. We can heroically continue to pluck drowning children out of the river as they pass by, but eventually we need to go upstream and find out why the hell they're in the water in the first place. We don't have a crime problem, we have a crime symptom. We don't have a homeless problem, we have a homeless symptom. We don't have those problems, we have a symptom. The problem we have, friends, is a morality problem. Now, in the largest majority-minority city in the country, for a white man to stand up and say that about this city, I have to be careful. Because I think in 2 minutes you'll understand where I think the morality problem is. If Christ came back today, friends, he wouldn't come here. Christ surrounded himself with the dregs of life, the stinky fishermen and the prostitutes. He did not show up where the nice people wearing good clothes hung out. If we are called as faith leaders in the business community, in the philanthropic community, in the government community, to be Christ-like, ask yourself, where are we supposed to be right now? The morality problem is not with the oppressed. The morality problem is not with the disenfranchised. The morality problem is not with the poor. The morality problem is not with the homeless who was abandoned and never read to as a child and ended up aging out of foster care. The morality problem is here. When you drive over the viaduct and you peer down it and you see the disenfranchisement and the loss and the hopelessness and you think, my goodness, somebody ought to do something about that one day. The morality problem is with your sentiment and your inaction. We have a morality problem in our city today, and it starts with us. And I do believe that there is an answer. It is simply this. What if you decide that you understand what your passions and your talents are and what you're good at, and instead of driving by and thinking, man, government ought to do something about that. Some big 501c ought to do something about that. How about you do something about that? How about we simply engage our abilities and our passions at areas of need and one-on-one? Do you know there's 625,000 people in our city? There's 10,000 nonprofits. That is one nonprofit for every 6 people. If 30% of our citizenry is needy, that is one nonprofit for every 2 people, and we're still having these meetings. Something isn't working, and what's not working is us. The individuals in the city that see need and walk past it and pass by it as if it's someone else's problem. And if you don't care about it from a realism standpoint, you need to care about it from a pragmatic standpoint, because if we don't fix it, we're not going to have a tax base and this place is going to fall. That's the business side. The other side of it is this. We are called to be Christ-like. The need is in front of us. Where would Christ be today if he came back today? And if you're to follow him and to be Christ-like, You need to follow them to New Chicago or South Memphis because that's where the work is. Thank you.